Breaking news this morning, several actresses, actors, CEOs, they have been charged in a massive college bribery scandal. Sabeel Marcellus has more for us on what is unfolding. And do we know names yet? Are those being made public, Sabeel?
Yes, so we have two Hollywood actresses being named so far, Loughlin and Felicity Huffman. We know them from Full House and Desperate Housewives. Well, here's what's happening. They have both been charged. They're among at least 40 people in this massive college entrance exam scam. What we know about it so far is that it was an effort to help students get into college by cheating on their college entrance exams and also helping them get recruited as college athletes regardless of their athletic ability. So far, 44 people have been charged, including college coaches, and Loughlin and Huffman have been charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services fraud. The FBI allegedly has recordings of the two actresses talking with a cooperating witness, so they have those recordings.
All right, Sabeel, thank you.
And I want to bring you guys into this really interesting situation here.
Boy.
It's unclear to me if the money is filtering through to the college eventually, or if the bribes were just going. No colleges themselves have been implicated in this, but officials at the colleges have been implicated in this. I know you've been reading through the indictment.
So I haven't finished the indictment. I'm part of the way through. It's very juicy. There's a lot of outrage factor going on here. So part of it, so there seems to be at least two things going on here. One is helping kids cheat on the SAT and the ACT exams. And I'll just read one line from the indictment. To facilitate the cheating, the guy who's enabling all this counseled parents to seek extended time on the exams, including by having their children purport to have learning disabilities. Oh, isn't that nice? And this guy there's a guy who was taking the tests on behalf of these kids or helping them somehow fix their scores, got paid between $15,000 and $75,000 per test. I mean, think about all the money some parents are lucky to be able to spend just to get their kids' preparation.
I mean,
these guys are paying 75 grand to cheat.
Have enough of a leg up already without having to do this.
Well,
I mean, they're already sending their kids to the best private schools, right? If they have this kind of money, presumably, right? They're already getting them test prep, tutoring, and everything else. They're probably donating to the schools they want their kids to get into. That's not enough. They have to do this.
I told you, there's a lot of outrage here, and I'm only a third of the way through. Some of the schools here: University of Texas, Yale, Georgetown, Stanford, a couple of the California state schools, UCSD, UCLA. And then the second part of this seems to be that they found coaches or assistant coaches for sports like tennis to find loopholes where they could have these kids qualify as student athletes, and this is just to get them into these schools.
Right,
because they were bribing the coaches.
Right.
They would give money to the center figure, who would then give the money to the coach.
Yeah.
And then they would nominate or pick the two children.
But they wouldn't actually play on the. They wouldn't actually play on the team.
Yes, but the academic requirements are lower in some cases.
You're a professor. Want to weigh in on this?
Well, look, I'll just say this at a more macro level. There's a culture around higher ed that is really, really ugly right now.
Yeah.
There's this perception that if you get your kid into the right school, it's a golden ticket for them. And I understand that there are a lot of schools that do a great job preparing students for their careers. But the fact is, parents overweight what it means for their kid to go to a particular school. They ignore all of the soft factors, all of the non-resume factors that matter. And as a result, we get a culture like this where they're doing gross and apparently illegal things to buy a ticket that won't necessarily get you anywhere. So I think one of the things that you've got to change is the culture around this idea there's a one-for-one relationship between where you go to school and outcomes in life. That ain't so.
Let me just, can I just go one other detail here? I mean, it's pretty amazing. One parent paid this fixer $1.2 million to help get one child into Yale. And the guy said, well, you need to, quote, could you please create a soccer profile ASAP for this girl who will be a midfielder and attending Yale? It's amazing. Your jaw drops.
There's no indication that the kids knew that their parents were doing this. How angry would you be as a kid to find out that your parent had done this?
Here's what I would say. I think there's probably a million indications. If your parent's willing to go to this length, they've probably done it 50 other times in your life, and you've seen it, and that's set your expectations for how you succeed in life, and there's nothing that undermines your future more than that.
All right, and we expect there to be comments from the usual chorus.
Cost is no issue for some people.